There are two very important points when you put your catsuit on to make sure that it is located in the right spot in your body. I call this the pits and bits check. So what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that the armpits are sitting right in your armpit well and that there's not too much extra space. There shouldn't be a big gap here. It should sit fairly snug against the skin. That's the pits check. The bits check, as I'm sure you can imagine, is making sure that the crotch part of your catsuit is all the way up at your crotch. If this is not positioned properly, it will sag in the legs and the body will be pulled down. So you're never going to get an accurate assessment of the fit if the pits and bits aren't in the right place. There are going to be a few different types of zippers that we can use. This is a neck entry catsuit, which has no zippers on it whatsoever. That was the aesthetic that I was going for. I'm going to try to ratchet up the cleavage here, do something with some lingerie under it. However, for fursuits, the most common zipper is going to be either along the shoulders, down the front, or down the back. And down the back usually goes to the small of your back. To put those zippers on can be a little bit tricky. What you're going to want to make sure to do before you put your catsuit on is to make sure that you have little zipper pulls. Just take a piece of string and tie it to the end of the zip. That way, you won't have to stretch so much to pull the zippers tight, and you're not doing that weird wiggly thing in the back. Now what we're going to do is start taking measurements if anything fits improperly. How do we tell, first of all, if something fits improperly? Well, there's two things that will happen with your catsuit. One, it will be too tight, or two, it will be too loose. This catsuit fits quite nicely at the arms. I have a very good range of motion. None of this is uncomfortable. You can see that the pits fit where they're supposed to. They go right up into my armpit well. The arms, I can comfortably bend my arms. And you're going to want to spend a little bit of time in your test catsuit just to see how it wears after 20 minutes. Has anything started pinching? You'll notice as I talk that there's actually wrinkles that start to form in my armpits. Personally, I'm okay with that because it means that my skin is not getting suctioned too deeply into the armpit or the elbow wells. That's a spot that can start getting really sore with long-term use. By long-term use, I generally mean a few hours. Also, behind the knees is somewhere else that it can be tight. Now, that's if something is too tight. You'll notice too tight by just pinching. If you have trouble breathing, for example, if your body is being wrenched in a weird posture, this catsuit gives me the posture that I would like. If, however, it was forcing my posture to slump, that could mean that the front piece is too small. If it was forcing my posture back, that could mean that the back piece is too small. These are all things that you're going to want to note when you get back to me on the fit. The other issue that you might encounter is your catsuit being too loose. Too loose is generally visible immediately. For example, these knees on my catsuit are too loose. While I do generally like looser knees at the catsuit so that it doesn't pinch at the back of my knees, when I stand up straight, it shouldn't be sagging and bending like this. So in this case, what I'll want to do is go back, pull up the seam, and just take out a little bit of the latex to have it lay nice and flat. If you have a measuring tape and you're able to, pinch the latex and then just take a quick measurement of approximately how much it needs to be reduced by. In this case, I would say quite a bit. I would take it in by about 3/4 of an inch on either side for a total of 1.5 inch reduction in circumference. If you want zippers, if you're ordering a crotch zip or a butt zip, or a through crotch to butt, this is where you're going to need your measuring tape, and this is where you're going to want to let me know on your catsuit where exactly you would like the positioning of the zipper. To do that, say for example, I want a from my crotch through to my butt zip for, bathroom breaks, fun sexy times, what have you. Nobody's gonna judge. We're all kinky here. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna take your measuring tape and starting at the very start, 1 inches, you're gonna measure from the crotch. There's a seam that you'll find at the crotch. You're gonna measure from that crotch seam up to where you would like the crotch seam to end. So for me, I would probably have it go just to my pelvis. Ladies' bits are a little bit lower, so I don't need it to go quite as high. So I would want it to go up, I'd say about 6 inches. If I want it to go through the butt, I then say, okay, so I want it to go up my 6 inches. Now how long, this is where the zipper would start. I'm gonna put my 1 here. How long in total do I want the zipper? And you'd say, how far back do I want it to go? I don't know, maybe about here to my tailbone. That measurement is 18 inches. So I would need both of those measurements from you. If you only want front zip, let me know how far from that crotch point you want to go. If you want something that goes past that crotch point, that one crotch seam, let me know how far front, how far back. If something is too small, or if you are not sure about the sizing, what I would require is a series of photos.